Alright, I guess I'm good to go. Alright guys, welcome to Christmas event double elimination series. Now the first thing I need to say, there are also two following series, but I think I may have screwed up in a bit chronological manner. I actually casted the turbo events. I recorded them a while ago, and I think this is the first of the series, like double elimination series. But so to say, best of three with two players on some maps. So right now we are on Infinity Isle. I think it should be the favorite of all of us, or maybe the entrance of any kind of series. Playing versus the Green Soviet, Green Alert, and Blue Empire. This is Alvin Tay. Now, Alvin, making a very risky opening with three refineries. I don't think this can be pulled off against the Soviets for the most of the time. For the main reason is, even though if you make Volkswagen all around here, Soviets can always go for Timblade and Migmas and can start to circle you around. All you can do, probably have some handful of Kingonis or some wait for South race and try to base race and eventually lose the game. So, Green Honor starts with a flak trooper and destroys the garrison. A nice point. Now going back for the refinery to create the initial defense against the first Tengu wave. In the meantime, we see Burst Drone is being, I guess it's going to attach itself, I'm unsure. But now we see a very quick war factory is being built. I think Green Alert also wants to expand over here, realizing that Alvente going for the tier 3 and his Mecha Bay is still not online. He believes he's safe enough to build a refinery here and also provide defense, which is a hard thing to perform. Now Burst Drone attaches itself to the... oh, so much firepower just arrives. The moment that Burst Drone detaches itself from the MCV, just gets destroyed. Now we see two Terror drones are being commissioned all over this refinery point, and the trouble is we don't see a dog score yet, only a Tengu to come around here, but the infection just occurs, and this amount of time of being infected will give enough time for the Terror drone to destroy this collector, and Alvin is not reacting to this. On the meantime, we see a sickle is being very closely positioned to Dojo Core, so Dojo Core cannot deploy. And MCV also arrived, two sickles now dealing damage to this Dojo Core, and Dojo Core gets destroyed. On the meantime, we see conscripts engaging on this garrison. Imperial Warrior just trades itself with a bear, and that will be all. Now, two sickles are now trying to infiltrate the collection of the ore of the Alvente. The third sickle also arrives. I don't really support having so many sickles in the map. Now, just for the sake of initial harassment, I think it's going to go. As long as this bullfrog survives, this attack will be successful. Now, the remaining Tengus are engaging to take down the remaining sickles with the low HP, and I think he's going to be successful. One Tengu goes down in the match, and on the meantime, second Tengu tries to evade the death. Leap has been used. The Tengu also gets her. Two Tengus just died. Alvin, even though starting with economical advantage, he can't launch any kind of offensive, and instead he is on defensive side and losing one more collector. And he can't go and build this one as well. His Tengus are occupied, so he's now stricken only with one oil collector and just one single oil derrick. Now, the bullfrog that made everything happen is now escorted back in a heroic fashion. On the meantime, tier 2 is getting online, and things are actually very nice for the green alert. He's on third refinery, soon to build the fourth refinery. Tengu harassment has arrived, but not going to happen in time soon, I suppose. This Tengu gets destroyed, but now Terror Drone as a infection has happened. So this harassment just being negated with being the least efficient it could possibly done. Collector is only half HP, and these are Soviet collectors, so they always have armor. They can always deflect the damage. On the meantime, Oil Derrick is already half HP, and Alvin can't just respond to this. Terror Drone has been deterred, but this is a war bear. So there is only one Tengu out there for entirety base of Alvin. So this third refinery opening is now proving to be more burdensome to him, and this sickle just dodges the death in the best way possible. Now, Tengu is going for the scouting around, but Green Alert already on tier 2, already on 4 refineries. So I think unless he gets some... I'm unsure, like, I don't know he can turn this around. And Green Alert is now having a significant amount of bonus in this game. Now, Terror Drone is going to, I guess it's for the Stunning Ray, yes. Once he wants to call save this ore collector, at least for a while. Hammer Tank, there's no Hammer Tank, is going to be produced. Sickle is now engaging once again on the Terror ore collector, but now gets destroyed by the Mecha Tengu. On the meantime, we see this Tengu is just positioned itself all over here, meaning with a Hammer Tank the moment it lands. Satellite drop used on just one single Tengu. Well, Green Alert, I don't think you would need that. Now, this collector is left with low HP, so this means that it's going to mine lesser. On the meantime, this Pterodon positioning itself very close to the refinery, and well, for the final moment, it actually couldn't make it. But the Tengu is not in the wall, so that's something. Now, repair drones are going to come and repair the... Oh no, it's not going to make it. But Terror drone surprise, and Tengu gets infected. How often this happens? From the looks of this is the one of the games that happens. Now it's positioning itself next to the walls to deal some infrastructure damage, I suppose, but it will need more than one single Tengu. I mean, 2 armor unit destruction needed for splash damage to take down that. On the meantime, Alvin is still having some difficulty with juggling all around with the units, but now this Terror Drone is doing the God's work and stopping the ore collector, destroys it. On the meantime, this Tengu is going to die as well. Also, nice reverse move coming from the Green Alert to negate any kind of explosion damage, but the 2 Tsunami tanks are more than a match for against it, and now Tsunami tank gets his own veterancy. Alvin still having some difficulty with running all of his refineries. I mean, he has 3 refineries, but 2 of them are not working. This means income is now severely low. The On top of that, I mean, add insult to injury, Twin Blades ever right, and this Twin Blade just directly goes to finish the deal, the final blow, the last economy. Okay, not the last economy. Right now he has 1 collector, so the game's still on. Now this Tengu is dealing some free damage on this and make successes to take it down. On the meantime, MCV goes on the front lines for some crushing moves, I suppose. But I mean, Alvin does not have enough units to handle the situation. Now Terradrone trying to negate the death, but now this Tengu gets caught by this Terradrone, and MCV goes for the crush, destroys the Tengu under the threat. Now Alvin, I mean, there are Tomb Blades, there are... uh-oh. Oh, is it going to happen? The crush is going to happen! And Striker reacts, just gets crushed. Tsunami Tank just gets crushed. Alvin is going for a bit fire sale, I guess. He sold his refinery. Now, what we see over here is very simple. Green Allen is now building near the base of the Alvin. Barracks is being built. Mecha Bay is under threat. Now, the Terror Drone made everything happen, just get destroyed. But there is nothing else left in the game. I mean, this is the last unit that Alvin had its own base. Now everything is completely exposed, and this is just the game. And the bear is out. Engineer, final moment before the mecha base being sold, and Alvin just taps out, realizing that his mistakes way too grave. I mean, he did not respect his opponent, I guess, for going for 3 greedy refinery, but I mean, reaction from the Grunala was very nice. He quickly just engaged, and with the few units, he completely seized the advantage of Alvin, focusing on economy entirely. And Alvin just couldn't handle the heat. So let's see the second game. Now we are back with the second game of round 1 between the Green Alert and the Alvin Tay. Now we're in Battle Base Beta. Aside from the many maps out there, I personally don't like this one for some reasons. I mean, it has nothing wrong, but maybe the garrison play here is way too obvious and forcing you a lot for the early game. I'm unsure, but anyway, not my favorite map. At least it's the balanced map anyways. So two barracks opening, which is very nice coming from the green alert. And Alvin is not learning from mistakes. Once again, he is going for the three refineries. Remember how that worked for you on the last game. How three refineries work better for you. Also, I don't know if you can guys hear it, but it's raining beautifully and I really like rain. As long as I'm indoors, I really like rain. It just gives me peace. I hope it also gives the same peace I am enjoying right now as well. I mean, I'm in front of my screen with Red Alert 3, and an event is being done. On the meantime, there's a rain happening on left of me. So, what else I can ask for? Well, I can ask for is these bears are not getting crushed over the dojo core, but unfortunately, three of them gets crushed. Now these flak troopers now sniping the dojo core, not that bad. There are no bears here, but this Imperial Warrior could actually be much more effective than it could be. Now conscript numbers are gathering. All of them are with the Molotov cocktails, so I mean, manually clicking all of them might be prove a little bit difficult. But now when they are in garrison, they always go for the AK-47. So this is enough for deterring these Imperial warriors. On the meantime, Mecha Bay is being almost built. Can we say the same coming from the Green Alert? Not really yet, but we see a sentry gun being built in a very nice position. This sentry gun will serve a couple more minutes safe from any kind of Tengu harassment, but I would definitely finish up these walls over here. Like, these walls are important, and this final section should be important as well. On the meantime, once again, Alvin really likes to play with the burst drone and delay expansion any means necessary. Now, sudden transport is being built, tank busters are getting pumped up. The only problem is Green Alert saw this. He knows what Alvin wants to cook, and let's see if he's going to let him to do so. Now, these garrison points are starting to become a little bit obsolete, I believe. In the meantime, this garrison is trying to deal some damage, but not going to do anything time soon. In the meantime, oil derrick is going to go down. Instead of making so many tank busters, you could actually invest in some of your units to take down this garrison. Now, you lost your oil derrick, and that's not nice. On the meantime, Green Alert is actually trying to cover as much as land on the map to gain himself some vision. Southern Transport not even trying to bother itself with camouflage and just going for the regular model for its own. Now, the trouble is Green Alert does not have it doesn't have a war factory yet. So his line of defense is going to be wolves and some bunch of bears. Now barracks is going to get destroyed, gives the much desired time needed for the Green Alert. On the meantime, Green Alert is just focusing on the defense, unfortunately losing his own oil derrick as well. I think no cash bounty is being used in this game. Now 4 Tengus and 1 Southern Transport, more than enough. War factory is being built on a very quite interesting spot. I mean, giving a natural defense over here, not that bad. But now, I mean, the walls that you didn't build are now going to be cause you a lot of trouble in the meantime. Sentry gun is trying to deal some damage. Wall has been misplaced. Now this collector is under threat, but now sentry gun is in the range. Walls are being built, not that bad. Also, they are being repaired. Anytime moment they can be sniped. But now sentry gun dealing more damage with this southern transport. And what? It has been empty so far, so good. Alvin, you can't do sudden transport tank buster ambush without tank busters are in the sudden transport. Now these tanks are being completely useless. I think they might be in the verge of being stuck. Now so many walls out there. Alvin has some sweet spot, but he wants to have this collector taken down immediately. Now he wants to take down the ore refinery instead, which he might be get to successful. Now this Tengu is positioning himself very close to it, so preventing any walls are being built. Collector just gets evaded, and War Factory has been sold. Sentry gun is dealing some damage and takes down the actually. This terror drone can actually make a lot of difference, and it is going to make some difference. Reactor has been sold down, but unfortunately it gets destroyed. But well. I mean, Sentry gun finally destroyed the southern transporter, and Alvin takes down the refinery, but loses his entire harassment force. Not the best that you could possibly. Oh no! Don't tell me. He can't.
Make a tango. Let's go.
Refinery core.
I mean,
ready.
just a one simple move to prevent Alvin to seal the game. That was insane. Like, The moment I think commandos can survive 2 hits, but the moment that Yuriko would come out, it would take a lot of damage. And now just Green Island won himself maybe more than 30 seconds. And that's big if you ask me. Now Refinery Core is trying to get built. Oh no, Sickle now meeting with Refinery Core. Refinery Core is taking some damage. Now Yuriko is also online, but delaying the Refinery Core is something. Alvin not going forward any kind of repair, so this Refinery Core will deploy with less HP. On the meantime, 4 Tengus with the point defense drones is engaging, and there is Yuriko here as well. Now Alvin is getting a bit greedy, going for tier 2 Mecha Bay and completely ignoring the midsection, I believe. This conscript could actually deal some damage. That would be very nice. But now Hammer Tanks are meeting with the Tengus, but now it's not going to work it for anytime soon for him. But the trouble brewing over here, Super Reactor, War Factory, and Airfield is also here. So this Yuriko, you definitely need to deal some damage over here. Now there's also that the airstrike has been used. I will probably use it over here. Unfortunate. Now Super Reactor is being used. Yuriko is almost very low HP. Twin Blade is going in to deal the damage and takes it down, but also trades itself with the Yuriko. Now there are only 4 Tengus left, and this airfield cannot survive, but Bullfrogs are way too far from Tengus, so Tengus can actually go away very freely. Now, unlike the previous game, Alvin is pulling this off. I mean, not in the best way manner. Like, for example, once again, his collector is going to be, his 3 refinery opening is going to be bothersome for him. Now he lost his sea expansion, but I think he gathered enough ore and good amount of cash before losing it, so that's not a big deal for him. On the meantime, that's a very interesting army composition over here. We see Rocket Angels, Yuriko, 4 Tengus and 1 Striker VX. On the meantime, Soviet army is just very simple. I'm losing 1 Rocket Angel. Like, imagine this: if Striker VXs or Chopper VXs are slow, Rocket Angels also have a terrible turn rate. So, also King Oni. Alvin is now, he is going for it for real. Now, this point should not be left, as after all, you may have terror drones, and that would be nice for you. But now the Hammer Tanks are going for the reverse move. On the meantime, these garrisons should target the Yuriko, but not going to happen. Sickle going in. There's no toxic corrosion is activated, but doesn't really matter. Rocket Angel goes down with the Bullfrog, but King Oni is now approaching Inverse side. This Yuriko is just finds herself with the bears all around. Like, the Sickle distraction was a great addition to the army, and Yuriko were too busy with destroying this garrison. So a big mistake coming from the Alvin side. On the meantime, 2 Hammer Tanks against this mighty behemoth of Empire army. But now the terror drone gets in and stuns this King Oni. Now King Oni is rendered completely useless. All he needs to do is a move with the terror drone. Now Tengus are actually trying to go in and deal some extra damage, but not going to happen. King Oni can't keep up with the distance. He just meets with the terror drone, and very instant and simply, and Leech Beam is not being used. There are only 2 units left. The Hammer Tank numbers are rising. King Oni can't do anything. Tengu just goes in for deal extra splash damage. Going to work, but not taking down any units. On the meantime, there's only 1 unit left in terms of the Alvin's high tier 3 army. And now it's just passing out. He's just a focus, but he's like a blind man and putting his glasses and can't see anything. Like, what's going on? Where are your Tengus? And they're strictly going to base. What? Oh, I'm just gone. Oh no, this bear is going to make it different. Final second. Almost there. But now this base is completely exposed. On the meantime, this King Oni gets destroyed. And like, having this Imperial logo King Oni face, it's like God of War killing the Hyperion and then taking his head. Now Super Reactor gets destroyed, but we still have the Terror Drone. So things are going to work on the meantime as well. On the meantime, unfortunately, Yuriko gets destroyed on the bombardment of these, tank shells. But once again, let's see how is it going to work. Alvin cannot reinforce his army properly. This is a problem with... Also, there's 2 military drones. Now, this is a problem with Empire. Like, you can't get everything in your army. Surely you will need Entire, so you will need this valuable production time with getting VX or the Tengus. On the meantime, you're tier 3 and you want to utilize that. You want to get King Oni. So without any extra further additional Mecha Bay, that's not going to happen. And you built this order considering that you will go for 4 refinery. But hey, guess what? I mean, one Akula just negated most of your plans. And now you are on the verge of losing your other collector. Not going to happen. So many Tengus out there. Now these Tengus are safe enough to land in. But there are so many Bullfrogs in the scene. I mean, 4 of the Bullfrogs gets destroyed. These Striker VX is caught red-handed. And now Tengus have landed. But what are they going to do? I mean, are they going to kill these conscripts all just for that? On the meantime, Yuriko once again goes in the scene. Yuriko number 3 on standby to do, I mean, cover up the mistakes of the previous 2 models. So for Sugil, we only see the Scream has been used and killing effectively all of the conscripts. I mean, big unit efficiency. On the meantime, I mean, Alvin has like all of the armor units just lying here, like tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Now, this garrison has been self-destroyed. Not that bad. 2 terror drones, and there's only 1 Yuriko. Now, all he needs to do, get a unit full enough to be in the vicinity of this garrison point. So now dealing some free damage on the King Oni, but Alvin is going to do the same mistake all over again. Now he lost the Striker VX for absolutely nothing. This gives him the opportunity for the Tomb Blades to finish the task that I have failed to do so. Now, unfortunately, Yuriko must use its attack on the bears and gets destroyed. Yuriko, I mean, Model 4 is, I guess, going to be finish the job next, but he's not being produced. I mean, she is maybe the one that will fix the errors of the Alvin. So far, so good with the Yuriko and can proceed to destroy the Green Alert. Alvin, for real, please, at least have more than 10 units in your army. Like, with just handful of like hand-picked units, you try to go and launch an attack and it's not going to work. How many times do you need to do that? Now, I mean, this is quite fat. I mean, just look at the DPS happening around here. Once again, King Oni just passes out, but I don't want to focus on this much because this status ray can trigger some epilepsy of the people. Now, bears are just... That's so many bears. Oh no, the heroic hammer tank. Don't lose it. Okay, Model 4 failed. Okay, on standby for the 5th. The anti-air is lacking right now, and this Tengu is just having his best time, but unfortunately it's short-lived and just gets destroyed on air. Once again, I mean, these bullfrogs are making everything much more easy for him. But now, tier 3 Dojo Core gets destroyed. Unfortunately, Yuriko not going to make it. Also, nice, I mean, graphical addition over here, like Bull Factory. You see the interior structure of the Mecha Bay. That's nice, but gets destroyed on the meantime. So Alvin unfortunately loses this game as well. So this is 2 wins for the Green Alert, and congratulations for him to defeat his opponent. And better luck next time for the Alvin Tay. Maybe a little bit better action we could see if he was focusing on 2 refineries as standard opening instead of going for a very reckless 3 refinery opening. Even though Battle Base Beta is a big map, this doesn't necessarily translate into you can always go for 3 refinery and that will be it. I mean, players on a high level will always realize this and try to engage on you as quickly as possible. Now we are back on the map Hard Lesson, also where we see lots of veteran academies around in the Commanders Challenge. Now we have new faces. On the bottom we have Dark Niche the best on Blue Empire, and this is, if I remember correctly, yes, this is Purple Mr. White. Like, it's not like the Breaking Bad, you're Mr. White. I am unsure, but this is the Mr. White. So let's see how is this going to unfold between 2 Empire players. So far so good. The only difference is the Mr. White is going for 3 Dojo cores. On the meantime, Darkness goes for the 2 Dojo cores. They both want to have their respective oil derricks, but this one's getting a little bit sneaky and going for directly for his opponent's oil derrick. So for the most of the time, whoever gets the advantage of the Mecha Tengu usually wins the game. But the distance here is not that long. So, I mean, I'm a bit unsure. Maybe a sudden transport with Tengu early defensive line could be used. Also, this Tengu is now going for this oil derrick as well. I mean, a little bit hash problems. Yep, that's happened. Now, oil derrick of Darkness has been secured well. On the meantime, Mr. White gets his own oil derrick as well, but the trouble does not end here. Now the dojo core is just placed in front of the deployed dojo. Now that's not. I mean, this is a good move for scouting and seeing the map. But after all, you're playing against Empire, and as you see Empire, all you see just Tengu comes up, press F, and fly all around here and position yourself near the refineries. That happens for the most of the time. Now, this dojo core is preventing infantry production, but going to short-lived. Two Tengus are here to intercept it. On the meantime, Mr. White is going to lose his own Older as well. So a bit of a power move coming from, but speaking of power move, we see a sudden transport, most probably filled with lots of tank busters, and capable of dealing lots of damage. The only problem is the safest and closest garrison point is so far. Now, sudden transport is going to make contact. This Tengu could be sniped immediately. Just three tank busters? Are you serious? Not going to work. I mean, a temple. This is nice. I'm telling it to collect. Uh, a wasted effort, I must confess. On the meantime, Mr. White is having some difficulty with this burst drone. But now Imperial Warrior is now attacking on Older. Taking down the soldier can work in a favor of Mr. White, but oh, that's a lot of Tengus. And how much Mr. White has? Not that much. Now Tengus, 8 Tengus already are now approaching to the base. Or no, they are scouting. But I don't think any. I mean, 3 refinery opening would be a death in here against an Empire as well. You can always just make more Tengus and swarm your opponent, and that would be the game. On to meantimes, this Imperial Warrior is actually doing some, I mean, nice stuff, dealing damage to Oil Derrick, but I think he moved it to here. Or here. I don't know if this Imperial Warrior serves for anything. Now, both of the players just unpack their MCVs and go for the third refinery points. Now, I would not even try to do it before this Tengu Cloud goes out. And also, your MCV is now out of the base. This means you can't use them for the crushing it. Now, one Tengu just beautifully lands in the collector and now dealing damage to collector. Also, this Tengu fails horribly, dealing damage to next to it. Some time has been wasted for the mining, so not that half bad. But now, the Dark Mage is already tier 2, so we can start to see some VXs. Dojo Core instead of... why would you get a Dojo Core? For clearing the garrisons. Man, you will need the economy first. You may clean up the garrisons later. But I don't think Dark Mage has some difficulties just because of, I mean, not having vision over here. Okay, Tsunami Tank. So Mr. White is also tier 2. So that's nice, but well, your opponent is going for Striker VXs, so you're going for Tsunami Tanks. And also there's a wall over here for some reason. Okay, so he wants to get the refiner, but he's not doing so. Dark Knight is already on 3 refineries combined with the oil drakes. He is now 4. This one of the tsunami tanks can be commissioned over here to deal damage and take down the oil drake perhaps. Not going to happen anytime soon. Now strike. I mean, this is actually a nice move since he has a control all around the midsection. He can freely move and maneuver around with his VXs. Now, first VX is going to make contact with the Tengu and dealing some damage and effectively taking it down. Also, one tsunami tank on the field as well. Tengu just goes for absolutely based. A very belated ore refinery. Third one is going to be built, but only just one Imperial Warrior for this oil derrick. I mean, you're a bit late for this. Now, tsunami tank is going for the sea expansion spots. I wonder at this point, there is no, there is not much of a way that Mr. White can actually, engage and defeat his opponent because, 4 VXs, so many Tangos out there. Yeah, and Darkness can stall this game all around. He clearly has the advantage, and now we see tank busters are being built. Not that bad, but not that good either. Slimy tanks. Ah, okay, so another refinery. So, well, Darkness definitely wants to stall this game to guarantee his victory. In the meantime, we see an Imperial Warrior harassment, and Defender VX just responds in just time. Ah, come on, Darkness, you are better than this. I think you can engage and win the game. But of course, you always may prefer to play as the safest. After all, battles mean nothing. Victory just matter. As long as you're not disconnected or like dropped from the game, that's something entirely else. But anyway, a win is a win, so I can understand you playing safety. And is this more slimy tanks? Um, Dark Mage is actually having the best moment right now. Point defense drones has been used. At the point, I don't think Darkness may require point defense drones. He has this much of advantage. But of course, his production is a little bit maybe slow. He's not producing anything worthwhile, but he wants to go for tier 3. So just preserve your army, stall it a bit longer, and that will be the game. Now some scouting is occurring. And Mr. White is, I can feel his tension. Like, oh no, what is going to, what am I going to do? I'm just pinned around here. Two tsunami tanks just making contact with the ore refinery. Taking down is going to add insult to injury so much. Not that you lost your refinery. I'm sorry, your collector. You lost your collector against a guy who had, well, five. One, two, three, four, five, and six refineries. That's something entirely. So I think unless Darknet just taps out, this game belongs to Darknet. But anyway, so guys, so in one of my videos that I recorded today, I asked about like what would you do? Would you, or let's say, would you regard someone's statements over their looks? Is like a person's looks, also this collector's bug. A person's looks like validate or invalidate their opinion. Now my other uh, let's say other thing I want to discuss or let's say mention about is like we are humans, and even if we're in the second millennia, we still have some interesting habits. Now, what kind of habits that you may want to ask is actually the sense of conformity. I don't know if you heard this term, but let me example it. For example, we are in a room with 5 people, and all of these people will say, like, for example, conscripts cost 100 gold, 100 credits. And that's what you know because you played the game. But suddenly, all of these 5 people starts to tell, like, no, conscripts are actually cost 200 credits. And you may, like, you know that it's 100. But I was like, well, for example, for a moment, if you question yourself, the sense of conformity starts to kick in. How is that going to work? It's actually very simple. For 2 reasons, you may say, even though you know it's true, you may say, no, conscripts cost 200 credits. The first thing is because you will start to have some self-doubts. Like, oh, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm remembering not correctly. Because after hearing so many people saying the exactly different thing that you used to know, will trigger you and make you question what you think about it. The other thing is for the sole purposes of adaptation and survival. Well, that's a bit long term, but follow me here. We're social creatures, and in society, whenever we can't, for example, we feel the idea of getting isolated, we get this fear of being alone. If that happens, we start to get, for example, try to adapt, and even though say, disprove otherwise, to just get accepted in society. So just think about this. Imagine, Imagine you're in a room with 10 people. You are the 10th people out there, and they all say, okay, conscript costs 200 credits. Even though you know it's correct, I mean, 100, the correct answer is 100 credits. You may go ahead and say, yeah, conscript costs 200 credits. I guess so. I mean, with Nimpatch, yeah, or something like that. That happens. But anyway, now let's get back to the game. Unfortunately for the Mr. White, he gets the loss on the first game, and now this is his chance to redeem himself on the map Infinity Isle. He is positioned on the right, starting with just one dojo, two dojo, and three dojo cores. On the meantime, his opponent, Darkness, goes for just a bit aggressive power move, just one single dojo core. I mean, he is completely reading him and making tank busters immediately and taking some cheap pot shot damage on this dojo core. And that's actually some sick body blocking out there. I mean, though, I mean, tank busters usually can take down before deploying it. Now, the dojo core tries to deploy it, but I think there will be only one Imperial Warrior can stop spawn over there after destruction and sell off being made. And I mean, you're fine. You can deploy freely, Dark Niche. Now, on the meantime, Mr. White gets his own oil derrick, pumps out some infantry for filling out the garrison, but garrisons are not very reliable against Empire. As you can clear out garrisons very quickly, so does your opponent if they're playing Empire. But now Mecha Bay is being built a little bit faster than his opponent, but with one single reactor, I think he might be suffering low power. Yep. And uh-oh. Okay, you want that Dojo Core to crush them, but I mean, it was obvious you're going to lose this garrison point. But now you have infantry as well, so you can do the reverse move there. Burst drone attached, and we see the southern transport here this time. But it's been spotted long ago with the burst drone, so that's not a big deal. Now, first Tengu goes out. And in response is with the second Tengu. You can have a very quick war factory. But again, with low power, that's not going to work for you. Okay, he's not in low power. That's something else. Now, Southern Transport is moving in. I think this is with Engineer. He wants to get this observation post. If so, once again, it's going to be a big move. Now, he is changing the path and going ooh, tank busters. Very close to the Imperial Warriors. Imperial Warriors have drawn their swords, but now absolutely for nothing. This dojo core investment is going to be a waste of 500 credits for absolutely nothing. No engineer and no Imperial Warrior is going to eject, going to slash these tank busters. Two of them seemingly enough. Now, in the meantime, we see the first Tengu harassment coming from Mr. White. The collector goes from the back doors and goes for repairs immediately. Another Tengu, second Tengu, third Tengu. Whoa! Unpack the MCV, just crushed them. Now, unfortunately, tank busters go and die in the explosion of the first Tengu. Second Tengu also goes down. I mean, harassment is being successful so far, but just for stopping the mining time. I mean, Mr. White is pumping out so many, Tengus, but this is not going to work in the long term. Now, one collector is on verge of being destroyed. Now, Tengus have landed and now dealing damage, and two Tengus die as well. Now, here is the outcome. You are recklessly harassing your opponent. I mean, taking down the collector is something. Ooh, MCV cell. A cash boost just arrived, and we are not going to see the same from the Mr. White. I mean, even though you take down the collector, now your opponent has more cash than you, and there are still some time left for the point defense round, so we will see to it. On the meantime, Mr. White is going to experience exactly the same pain that he has received from his opponent. I'm sorry, he's going to experience the same pain that his opponent has received. Now, first collector goes down, second is not going to live long enough. But unfortunately now, I think Mr. White is now suffering greatly in terms of economy. There's only one oil derrick in terms of income. Unfortunately, one thing gets crushed by the MCV. So that was the point. I didn't even see that. Sudden transport, beautiful move, completely cancelling out his opponent. I mean, 4 Tengus taking down the collector also goes for the point defense drones, but just roll it around here. We're going for escape route. I mean, fine. Now Tengus have all landed, and the response was going for the jet mode. No, no, no. That's now you destroyed yourself. What are you doing? All you need to do is just get a collector. Why did you? Oh no. You can always attack. I mean, deal damage to this instant generator. Just place it over here. It can be defended a little better. And once again, this heroic sudden transport is up to do some shenanigans. He's way too fast, so he's trying to buy himself some time. However, so you built an instant generator only to sell the other one. Well, most unfortunately, not gonna work. I mean, for most of the time, when we see MCV cells, we usually see the players either go for the oil derrick or observation post, but Darkness really, really used his engineer coming from the MCV cell. Also, this sudden transport is making move. I think he wants to buy more time. I wonder if this is okay. This has nothing inside, and he is just. This is very sneaky play. Like whenever you move outside, I'll just come in and steal your structure. Now the means of income once again gets destroyed. I mean, Tengus are going to intercept in a nice way angle from the striker reacts, but now the tables are turned and now they are dealing damage to the Tengus. Now 2 Tengus go down, but unfortunately one of them gets sniped on the mid-air. Now the remaining Tengus landing beautifully. Now Tsunami Tank is also in the field, dealing enough damage. Another Tsunami Tank just stationed nearby the refinery, so he doesn't need to do anything else. Now Tengu is going inside, but Mr. White taps out from the game. Well, a bit anticlimactic coming from Mr. White. Unfortunately, he may need to hone his build order and some maybe reading his opponent's stuff. Darkness actually executed everything perfectly in the way he may want it. Maybe a little bit better than what he expected or wanted it. But anyway, GG for the Darkness and better luck next time for the Mr. White. A moment. Right, I'm good to go once again. Now we are back on the map hard lesson, and all I can say, Mastermind X is going to get a very hard lesson because this is Samir, but don't mind it. His original name is Czar, and all I can say, Czar is a player, plays Empire for the most of the time, and he learns relatively like a sponge, absorbing the water. He learns it fast, he improves it fast, and he practiced a lot in the past time. If I remember, that was around like 2016 or something, 2017 or something. He was rising, and now he can be considered as an expert player, by the way. Now this is Mastermind X, not disrespecting his opponent and sending some javelins, but now I think he is disrespecting his opponent and going to meet this dojo core very soon enough after stealing oil. I'm getting his oil derrick. On the meantime, Czar is making contact to his oil derrick to get it by itself, and he's just making infantry now. Nothing very serious. Some peacekeepers accompany with 2 peace javelin soldiers, so not that bad. But now collector is being, attached with the burst drone, so income is a little bit slowed. What are you? I hope this is not a very fast air opening. If so, I mean, things going to be very bad for you. Very nice attaching the burst drone on the polo. Now javelins are going to soon meet, but now they are going to make contact. And peacekeepers are actually making short work of the Imperial warriors. But okay, finally we see the second refinery as well. The oil dojo has been deployed, ready to steal the oil derrick. Imperial warriors getting bombed, but this base has two openings, so Tsar is actually buying the much valuable time he wants to have. Now, first Tengu is on the map. I mean, if you expect to bomb, oh, way too slow. Um, Excuse me, but there are some units that you can seriously consider bombing down. I mean, dealing damage to oil derrick is not a bad option right now, but now you also don't have the secondary indicator. And on top of this, you missed the Tengu to bomb it down, and you couldn't handle it down with the polo you had. And the first collector goes almost down. And now this Apollo fights with the Tengu, but again, I mean, trading one Apollo with one collector. I don't know who would be in favor for this trade. Easy to say. It's always working for the allies, right? I mean, it's working for Empire. I mean, my man is following the game way too late. This collector just has been destroyed and Tengu get away. Way too long. Why are you moving there? Now, infantry is trying to move out, but Tsar is not interested and he's actually disengaging. He's just moving his troops further away from the peacekeepers. He believes he can handle this amount of peacekeepers easily with this amount of Tengus. I mean, let alone three Apollos. A player like Tsar, I mean, he can't go toe to toe with three Apollos, but I think he can dodge them and maybe lose one. Now, once again, one Tengu makes contact with the Collector, and Vindicator is nowhere to be seen. Now we see the first Vindicator gets sniped. All of these Peacekeepers are now caught very terribly. Now there's nothing on the land. There's only javelins, and there are no more javelins. Now two of the collectors completely exposed. There are only Apollos. So many Apollos in the map. But, well, these Tengus have absolutely no reason to go jet mode. So this is a bit dead investment. On the meantime, there are only Imperial warriors out. I'm sorry, there are only peacekeepers out there, and well, they are just suffering damage from both Imperial warriors and the Tengus. On the meantime, three Tengus finish the short work of the last remaining collector, and Mastermind X guesses a hard lesson. Better luck next time for him, because after all, this is not a regular player. I mean, this is a bit unlucky for him. This is a good opportunity for him to see some of the maybe optimal builds or something. But I mean, Czar is someone definitely more than he can chew. Let's see how did he perform on the next game. I don't want to sound rude, but I don't think Mastermind can win this against a player in a level of Czar. So I think it goes without saying Czar wins this one as well. But I want to see how he's going to perform. What is he going to do? Now on top we have wait. The factions change? No, okay. Purple, I mean, colors change, I guess. Okay, so this is purple playing as Empire. This is Czar, and now following with the allies Mastermind X. So, from Mastermind, if you really want to hear my opinion, you should definitely go double barracks in a map with that much of a short distance. And because the infantry is the first tab of the units that you can usually produce, and in such short distance, also do not lose your dog for no reason like that. I would probably go for like two javelins and maybe 10 peacekeepers and try to go offensive. I mean, these garrisons is what is holding you against your opponent. I mean, when you get clear of them, you can actually go and make a push and very simply defeat your opponent. Unless they cook something else. Now, for example, as you can see, this dojo core is not proceeding well, and Zard just gets this with one Imperial Warrior. Now he's making more Imperial Warriors on the meantime, but deploys his Mecha Bay. On the meantime, Mastermind X is again he goes for a quick airfield. Fine. Now Dojo Core just destroying all of the Peacekeepers. Not all of the Peacekeepers, but I think one or two Peacekeepers gets crushed. I mean, not that bad, but this should translate into pushing forward. I mean, Dojo Core is down, so your Peacekeepers can actually handle the Imperial Warriors. But now, oh no, you are going to make the same thing again and expect a different result. On top of that, this map is smaller, so now Peacekeepers make contact with Imperial Warriors of the Tsar. Now he is drawing him. I'm unsure. There's a dojo here, but now intercepted very quickly. Now first Imperial Warrior is out. That's actually a bit nice scatter move out there. Quickly intercepted, not bad. But now Javelin should better be toggled back to the normal self-guided mode. Because if so, that will cause a lot of troubles to you when your airbase is invaded by the Tengus. Now, two Tengus have arrived already, dealing damage to the collectors. One collector escorts it safely. The second one is not going to be lucky as well. And is dealing damage to the safe collector. I'm sorry. Dealing damage to the Tengu that cannot reach the prospector. I would definitely go for this one instead of that. In the meantime, two Imperial Warriors just freely dealing damage to the oil derrick. Now Tengu threat has been neutralized, but the more is coming out. Tsar is out microing his opponent. This is insane. I mean, realizing that he knows Mastermind X is actually, right-clicking on the target instead of using any kind of A move. So he actually, oh no, this is just not going very well. Go finally self-guided mode. Oh, is it? Is it going to do? Ah, no. But anyway, he realized that his opponent is just right-clicking and not using any kind of A move. So he baited one Tengu on the front line, pulling it back, and then Apollo died for absolutely nothing. Not even dealing any kind of significant damage to Apollo. And that was what I was saying. I mean, against a player like that, you may need more than 3 Apollos for sure. Now, Tengus are overrunning the base of the Mastermind X. No multi-gunner turrets are being built. 3 refineries, all of them are under attack. And Mastermind X is just cannot prioritize what to do. Like, I should save here, or maybe save here. I'm unsure. I mean, my units are there, but doesn't really matter. Now, Peacekeepers... okay. Okay, sell these walls so you can start dealing some damage to these Tengus. Oh no, this is like... Imagine you start a mission like this. Like, Commander, we need your help. I mean, our base is overrun. And this is what you get. I will not even, like, accept to take a base like this. Anyway, Mastermind gets defeated, unfortunately. I mean, again, that's very unfair matching. No way you could compete against like this. But maybe in future, if he gets better. I mean, if Czar could do it, other people can do it as well. All you need to do is just watch some videos, follow some build orders, and like practice a lot, and you can also achieve it without any kind of issues. So I believe, have one final contester out there. Oh no, actually, this is the end of the round one, I guess. Let me double check. Yep, that was the end of the round one. Soon I will upload the round two as well. I decided to upload these unlike the Chrono Clash because I think Chrono Clash games were much more important. But this one is like Christmas tournament, but it's way too long. Like Double Elimination, Turbo Run, and Turbo 2. So only on finals, I guess I will do a separate video. On the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this round one of the two Xmas Christmas double elimination tournament. I will soon upload other ones. So feel free to leave a like or comment and consider subscribing. And hopefully podcast and make you guys enjoy it a little bit more. Until then, stay tuned.